Yes, welcome back to the Male Soap Opera Moment featuring the one, the only, the wrestling encyclopedia, Vincent Kennedy Bucci.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am here on the Male Soap Opera Moment. And, usually when I'm on this show, I'm happy, I'm pepping, I'm bursting with love. But, there's a lot of things that are frustrating me lately, and there's a lot of list of reasons I can be pissed off. The first is the obvious. I'm beltless right now, no title on the shoulder, nothing's here. Could be that. That could be the reason. But here's the thing. As frustrating as it is to not have the acknowledge me moment that I like to have, I gotta hand, I gotta hand it to the Wenz. He took it 6-4, won the title. He's the new champion. I'm gonna give him his moment to gloat because he earned it. But here's the thing that upsets me is between what went down at the Royal Rumble, the card that is set for Elimination Chamber, and what we already know is coming for Wrestlemania. I have never been more disgusted with World Wrestling Entertainment than I am at this current point in time. Like, I am almost ready to go all elite. That's how pissed I am right now at what's going down in this show. I mean, you have Survivor Series, which we talked about was the most amazing pay-per-view, back card to card, front to back, amazing. You have day one that was a home run. And then we get to the Royal Rumble and they completely shit the bed. Completely shit the bed. I mean, I guess we can recap it now if you want. I'll see, where do I begin? Let's see. We start off with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I love this match. Seth Rollins' Shield outfit, walking to the ring was brilliant. Brilliant. Seth Rollins is technically a heel, but Roman's so good at being a heel now. Seth had no choice but to be a situational babyface. He had to be babyface for this match. There was no other alternative. He couldn't out-heel Roman Reigns, which is big because Seth's usually a very good heel. They have a match that is amazing, and it ends in a disqualification.
Wow.
Yes, which should never happen on a pay-per-view under any circumstances, especially when there's no continuation of the story. This is a one-and-done match, as we clearly saw from the Chamber and what we're clearly seeing from WrestleMania. This is a one-and-done match. So if it's going to be one-and-done, you might as well let Roman, Superman punch, spear, 1, 2, 3, whatever. You might as well give it to him or let him choke out Seth. The 5 count thing does nothing because they're not going to fight again for a long time because they're on separate brands. So it was a crappy finish there. Then we get to the Women's Royal Rumble, or as I like to call it, Botchamania, because mistake after mistake after mistake is made. I'd never seen legends get more disrespected in one match than I did in this one. Literally, they're in the ring, they're out of the ring. They're in the ring, they're out of the ring. Meanwhile, freaking Aaliyah and Liv Morgan are in there for like 20 minutes. Aaliyah is a jobber and Liv Morgan is a joke. And you leave them in there for like half the Rumble. But the legends who, except for Lita and maybe Michelle McCool, were the only ones that got a lot of ring time. And I guarantee you, the only reason they gave Michelle McCool that much ring time is because she's married to The Undertaker. It was not because of her legacy. It's because they knew if they eliminated her early, Taker was going to be choke slamming people through production trucks. So that's the only reason that happened. But then we had our moment. Out comes Ronda Rousey like we knew she would. It gets down to her and the false flare. She throws the false flare out. Thank you, Jesus. Which to me was a waste of time because, and then I'm going to skip over here a little bit because I just got to get this off my chest. Ronda wins the Royal Rumble. So here we go. Everyone's excited. We're going to get Ronda versus Becky, the money-making match, the match we should have got 3 years ago. And what do? You know what they did? They make it Ronda and Charlotte the main event. Just spit in the face of every WWE fan at this point. That's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what creative is doing. They spit in the face of every fan by depriving them of the one match that they want to see so they can keep putting on a pedestal the one brat that nobody wants to see. It's horrible storytelling, horrible booking, and a disgrace.
Are you insinuating that Charlotte Flair cannot beat Ronda Rousey?
I'm not insinuating it. I'm directly saying she can't beat Ronda Rousey. It's a joke. It's pathetic. The fact that they're even putting Charlotte on a level as Ronda Rousey is laughable to me.
I'm sorry, how many world titles does Charlotte Flair have?
Multiple ones that were handed to her.
Multiple.
It's like me going to
how many?
I can go to store, I can go to a Target, buy a belt, and it's the same, and it's pretty much the same thing as what happened with Charlotte. Okay, it's no different than me seeing fans with replica belts walking around. I'm a world champion. Yeah, but you didn't win that, you bought it. Well, technically she didn't buy it, her dad did because he's got more money. But the point is, then we get to the third match. Becky Lynch versus Doudrop.
Oh.
Fairly decent. I actually enjoyed this match, but we knew Becky was going to win, so it was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But still, it was a great match. Doudrop had a great showing. I loved it. This was the match that was like worth everyone's time. Then we got to Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Ooh, I love this match. I don't care what nobody says. This was great. Now, Wenz was right about one thing. We did get a lot of Suplex City, which you predicted, and that was true. But let's admit, Bobby Lashley had a couple receipts of his own.
It turned into something special.
Yes,
at first it looked a lot like I thought it was going to look, but it turned into something nice. I'll give you that.
Yeah, exactly. Bobby Lashley gave a couple receipts, and then the moment happens. Out comes Roman Reigns, and next thing we know, Paul Heyman hands the belt to Roman. He clocks Brock with it. Bobby gets the win. He's the new WWE champion, which was, if Brock was going to lose, that was the right way to do it, and swerved everybody with Roman Reigns going back to the tribal chief, which was awesome. I enjoyed that. Then, of course, the only problem is, once that happened, I knew Wenz was getting the point for the Rumble. That I knew it at that moment. Like, Brock lost this match. We know what's going to happen.
He's jumping in. Yep.
You knew. Then we got Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. Oh, it was disorganized.
It went a lot better for Miz and Maurice than we both anticipated, though.
Yeah. I mean, but still, they were uncoordinated. Edge and Beth Phoenix, it was awkward. It was weird. Like, this match just didn't feel right. Like, they did not have good chemistry. Like, Maurice was out of the ring, I think, way too long. You know, Beth's trying to get something out of her. Like, I don't even blame Miz for this one. As much as I don't like him, at least he's organized somewhat. Maurice was all over the place. Didn't know what the hell she was doing. You know, I don't think she took the match as seriously as she should have, as far as training goes. Which is one thing I'll give the Miz credit for. He at least gets ready for a match and has an idea of what he wants to do. I think Maurice was all over the place. And then we got to the men's Royal Rumble, which angered a lot of people for a lot of reasons. Number one, no surprise entrance. The only one we had was Drew McIntyre. But let's be honest, when Drew came out, did it really surprise anyone? Like, was anybody like, holy crap, he's back? I forgot he was injured. Drew was out of sight, out of mind. I'm sorry, but he was.
That's the
I love
thing
Drew.
about WWE. There's so many superstars. When one leaves, it's like, oh yeah. Huh.
It's like, because the thing is, we're so used to them being off TV for a while that even if you're gone for a month, it's like, oh, he's there. You got to go 3-4 months to make it a return nowadays. Mm-hmm. You're gone for a month. It's just like, oh, he was off TV for a while. Like, nobody cared. It's like nobody cares. It's like, you know, it's like that rule. Somebody has to be missing for like 3 or 4 days before you can even file a police report. So that's how crazy it is. But anyway, so then, and not only that, not only were there no surprises, there were no legends in the Rumble, no NXT guys that were sitting backstage could have came in. You had so many young talent you could have brought in there. And here's the thing that really makes me mad, that really makes my blood boil. Freaking Bad Bunny's in the Rumble, eliminating people and knocking people out. I'm going to say this right now, and I may get some heat, but I don't care because I spit the truth because I don't care if it bothers people. If you're more upset with Shane McMahon being in the Rumble than Bad Bunny being in the Rumble, you're not a pro wrestling fan. You're a sports entertainment fan. That's what you are. You are not a fan of pro wrestling if you believe that, because Shane McMahon at least is a veteran. Shane McMahon has put on good quality matches, has put his body on the line. And a lot of other wrestlers put their body on the line. But here's the thing. He's a billionaire's son. He ain't have to do that. He could literally sit next to his dad and count his inheritance, but he doesn't. He goes out there and actually knows how to wrestle, actually knows how to work, and can actually work well with a lot of stars that are in the ring. He's a master of psychology. Bad Bunny's a freaking rapper that did a destroyer. Whoop-de-doo, you're like every other wrestler in AEW, because that's literally their basics. It's like hip toss, takedown, destroyer. It's you reach the bare minimum of being an AEW superstar. Congratulations. It's like people are ignoring this legend in favor of a rapper who's not even a good one.
Dude, I don't know if there are actually people that would disagree with what you're saying. I mean, anybody that doesn't want Shane O'Mac in the Royal Rumble, why not? Like you said, he does everything. He puts everything on the line. And after the match, he gets silently dismissed. Do you know anything more about that?
Yeah, well, apparently Shane McMahon was part of the booking for the Rumble. Pat Patterson passed away. He used to be the guy that wrote and choreographed the Rumble because it was his brainchild. So after he passed away, now other people have to do it. So I think Shane was integral, and some people didn't like the fact that Shane A, booked the Rumble, but B, booked himself to be in the Final Four. It's like, first of all, he didn't book himself to win it. And here's the thing, even if he did book himself to win it, let's not forget, in 1999, his father won the Royal Rumble.
All back.
There we go. So really, is it going to shock anybody that a McMahon wins the Rumble? Vince won it in 1999 at the height of the Attitude Era, which most people say best era in wrestling. And Vince won the Rumble, but he didn't go to WrestleMania. Stone Cold eventually went because they had the cage match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And if you need a refresher course on the Boochcast, I just recently reviewed those two pay-per-views. So you can get a refresher course right there if you want to tune in. So it's ridiculous. But then, of course, Brock comes out. We knew he was going to win. He dumped out Matt Riddle in a way that was kind of like, shut your mouth, kid, which I love. That was my favorite part.
Your hatred for Riddle is...
He needs to learn respect because he ain't got it. And Brock had to teach it to him that night. Because if you notice the way he dumped him out, it was like throwing out the trash can. It's like throwing trash into a dumpster.
Well, the word on the dark webs is that Riddle was supposed to win that match. He was.
I know, and
match.
I would have been even more pissed off than I am now if he did. There'd be F-bombs galore if he did. Him getting eliminated was my saving grace. I'd have lost my shit.
I want a WWE where Charlotte Flair is women's champion and Matt Riddle is either heavyweight champion or universal champion. That's the world I want to live in, Booch.
Yes, because you love seeing me in pain. That's why you love seeing me in pain.
I do a little bit, yeah.
But that's my thoughts on the Rumble. Feel free to share yours.
From the top down, totally agree. I'll keep it brief because we got to move on to what's going down in Saudi Arabia here soon. I totally agree. There should never, ever be a DQ at a pay-per-view. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. And especially the way this match has been sold, packaged and sold to us. And then this is how it ends. It was almost a 15-minute match too. It's not like it was a 5-minute thing. It's like, okay, this is one of those matches that ended weird, but it was only 5 minutes, right? But half of Raw has been focused on this match, and so for me, it's like, how are you going to end it in a DQ? I mean, we both knew that Ronda Rousey was going to win, so that's great, and she eliminated your least favorite superstar, so that's got to make you feel somewhat good, some consolation to your loss.
It made me happy, so happy.
Yeah, so happy trees. Yeah. I don't think the Becky Lynch match with Doudrop was as good as you thought it was, at least for me. I knew that there was no way, and there weren't that many instances where I felt like they were giving me reason to doubt what I already knew. Yeah. So they should do more of that with Doudrop. Like, if you're going to book her for this match against Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, do more. Like, Doudrop, do more. That's what I mean. Bobby Lashley defeating Brock Lesnar. Yeah, this one totally led the way to the Royal Rumble match, which was the whole concept. So really, like you said, as soon as this match ended, you already knew it was going to happen at the Rumble. But to me, I don't even love the way that Bobby Lashley won this match. Like, I think, again, it just makes me doubt how solid he really is. And I know he did a lot during the match, but it wasn't clean. And I think if people are going to really take Bobby Lashley seriously, he's got to have a clean win. Edge and Beth and Miz and Maurice, you nailed all that. No need to repeat it. But I'm just glad Miz didn't get his ass kicked as bad as I thought he would. And then, of course, Brock Lesnar winning the Royal Rumble. We knew this was going to happen, Booch. And this totally already leads to what you said, what we already knew was going to happen at WrestleMania. So let's put Elimination Chamber in context, Booch. Let's not sit here and pretend like, oh my gosh, we're going to have X amount of new champions and brand new storylines by the time Mania comes around. WrestleMania 38 sure is going to be a jamboree full of new storylines and events. It's not. It's not. But maybe, just maybe, there's room for an alternative course here. So let's go through, let's discuss amongst yourselves Elimination Chamber.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia is what, Saturday at noon? Just hours away from now, Booch. So let's talk a little bit about it. But first, before we get into the actual matches, will you please inform and enlighten the Wenz World universe here on what exactly makes an Elimination Chamber match an Elimination Chamber match?
What makes an Elimination Chamber is the fact that it's a giant cell-like structure. There's 4 pods and with 6 wrestlers. Four of them are locked in the pods. Every couple minutes, a pod opens into somebody else, and 2 people start off the match. Once you pin or submit somebody, they are eliminated from the match, and the last person standing is the winner.
And there you have it.
That's the basic concept of it, including now what you see in the chamber varies, but that's the concept of how it works.
So let's talk about what we're going to see in the chamber. First, let's take a look at these ladies who will all be wearing long tees and long pants. Which, I gotta be honest, I'd be okay with that. You know, the one thing, real talk here in Wenz World, the one thing that keeps my wife from wanting our 2 boys from watching wrestling, it isn't the violence. It isn't the going through the tables and smashing them in the head with chairs. It's the scantily clad women. She's like, if it weren't for that, I'd be totally cool with it. And I understand, and I agree with her. That is why I am begging and petitioning for the return of right to censor. This faction needs to be returned ASAP because the next generation of WWE fan and stockholder demand censorship right now.
So I guess you popped the loudest when Ivory came out.
I did. I popped so hard, dude. She can't. Yes, the white and the black. I was like, ah, like that. I was like, Ivory. Oh my gosh. So, anyway, sorry, I digress, Booch. But let's take a serious look here now at this women's match, including my favorite. Spoiler alert: Bianca Belair.
Yeah. So we got Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, and Alexa Bliss. This one is, I was shocked. I was surprised they were going to do this. Like, Saudi Arabia is getting a lot more progressive than I thought they would, because I did not expect a women's chamber match. I really didn't.
Really?
I did not know. I mean, because I'm saying, like, okay, we got a singles match, then we got a triple threat match, but I thought, I don't know, 6 women in a ring. I don't know if Saudi Arabia is at that point yet. I was wrong. There's a lot of, they are either they are very progressive or Vince is very persuasive. And if that's the case, he needs to be running for president if he can get this much done in Saudi Arabia, where he got 6 women in a chamber. I'm like, dude, he's getting more done than Congress. So anyway, and he beat Congress, which is even crazier. So that's another story for another day. Dark Side of the Ring, you can check that out. But anyway, my point is, when I look at this match, I see 2 possibilities as far as storyline goes. One, Alexa Bliss shocks everybody because it looks like they're building a return for her and she wins this whole thing. Or B, Bianca wins it and we get her versus Becky, because it looks like there might be pushing this whole Bianca trying to get redemption on Becky, because they've already fought twice. And the first time was a squash. The second time, I don't even remember how that match ended, but because my brain is just fried at this point. But I think they're going to go that route. So it's one of those two. I would love to see Alexa Bliss win, but I got to be realistic. So I'm going with Bianca Belair for the Chamber.
All right, so we're both going with Bianca, the EST of WWE.
Yes.
Let's take a look across the aisle here, right? Because we got this men's championship match featuring your current champion, and I use that word very loosely, Bobby Lashley, taking on Lesnar, Rollins, Styles, Riddle, and Austin Theory. Booch, what say you, my man?
This one's pretty easy to do process of elimination. Austin Theory not winning the title. Scratch that off. Riddle, no way. Scratch that out. If Lesnar doesn't potato him in this match, I'll be shocked. If Lesnar's not throwing shoot punches at him in this chamber, I will be surprised. Styles, love him, not happening. Seth, maybe. Like I said, he was supposed to win at day one before they changed the Universal title match. Lashley could retain, but I'm going to be honest. I want Brock to win. I'm going to tell you why. I want to see title versus title because I'm sick and tired of separate brands, separate titles. It's not working. It's not building any new stars. It's only, except for Roman and Brock, that's about it. You ain't got a lot of anybody that's really a star. You got good wrestlers, but no stars. It's like the old Cornette joke. When I watch wrestling, I want somebody to whack me in the head so I can see some stars because there isn't any here. They need to cut the brand split, unify the belts, world title, tag title, women's title, and just go back to the formula of storylines that carry over from Raw to SmackDown until we get things back on track, especially with all the releases that have happened. They don't have a roster anymore. And it looks, you got people who aren't ready to be world champions, either winning the belt or fighting for the belt, and it's not drawing money. You know, people were mad that Big E's title reign was cut short. I love Big E, but he wasn't drawing money. It's like Roman is so damn good, and they put him over so much by smashing people over. The WWE title is meaningless, no matter who's holding it. So at this point, I think Brock should win the title, unify the belts, and then build somebody up, preferably Bobby Lashley. They can have their rematch, and Lashley can beat Lesnar at like SummerSlam or something and become like the WWE Universal Champion or whatever, however they call the belt. But I think it's time for unification. The brand split ain't working. So I'm going with Brock.
I like your insight there. You're right. It isn't working. It's not creating new storylines, or at least they have a team of writers who aren't able to make something out of this current situation.
Exactly.
So it would be cool to see a unification, right? See how that pans out. So you're going with Brock?
I'm going with Lesnar.
All right. Wow. I look at this list, Booch, and I still think we're going to see Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania as champion entering the night. So I'm going to go with Lashley to retain. All right. So the next match, Universal Championship, Goldberg taking on the champion, Roman Reigns. For me, at least, this is a no-brainer. Roman Reigns is winning this match.
Yes. Here's the thing. The fact that it's a no-brainer is why it's goddamn ridiculous that people are bitching about this match. Because, look, people need to stop looking at this as Goldberg trying to win another title and see it as Goldberg upping someone's resume. It's like last year at the Rumble when he fought Drew McIntyre. The purpose of that match was not to make Goldberg the WWE champion again. It was to make Drew McIntyre look good because he could say, I beat Goldberg, which is a legend. It's a Hall of Fame name. Not only that, we were supposed to have this match 2 years ago at Mania, but Roman pulled out because of the pandemic. So it was, and then we got that match with Strowman that went nowhere and was ridiculous and was a waste of time. Goldberg was better off staying home with the belt. But The spear versus spear is going to draw money. Also, they're in Saudi Arabia. Most of the full-time talent doesn't go anyway. And here's the kicker. Because you and I both know Roman's going to WrestleMania as the champion, to put a full-time guy in there would be a waste because he'd get buried. So why not put Goldberg in there, have Roman beat him, add him to the list of big names and legends and Hall of Famers he's already beaten. I mean, think about it. Brock Lesnar, John Cena, The Undertaker, Triple H, Goldberg. That's a badass right there. You got those 5 names of list of people whose asses you've kicked. Roman beats Goldberg. That just makes him more credible, more the tribal chief, more the head of the table, more another reason to acknowledge him. That's how people need to look at these matches when Goldberg gets in there. This is an opportunity for Roman Reigns to go to the next level by beating a Hall of Famer. That's why this match is going to work. That's why this match makes sense. And that's why Roman is winning.
But is it going to be a good match, do you think?
If Goldberg gets out of his own head, yes.
What does that mean?
It means that's Goldberg's biggest mistake is that his whole persona is making things look as real as possible in the ring. So sometimes he runs a little faster than he should. He's a little more aggressive than he needs to be. He sometimes forgets that the other guy will work with him. You don't have to exert yourself to be tough. I'll make you look tough because I can sell. So don't run full speed to hit a damn spear, bash your head on the ring post and get concussed, or if your legs aren't very strong, don't try to go for suplexes and do crazy stuff. If you got chicken legs, which he kind of does, and that's why he hurt his knee in the match at SummerSlam, because his knee gave out because he's one of those upper body guys, but doesn't do much with his legs. When you got all that big muscle mass with chicken legs, your legs are not quite as sturdy. So wrestle smarter, not harder, and you'll do better. And I think that's why his match at Crown Jewel was amazing, because he worked smarter. So if he just carries that to the chamber, they'll tear the house down.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. I totally agree that Roman Reigns is winning this match. And the fact, like you said, and we both said that we both know this already, it's just disappointing in the booking. But maybe the Raw Women's Championship match can turn the tide here. As our champion, the Bex is taking on Lita. Again, no. Actually, it's more of the same. I already know who's going to win this match. Becky Lynch is going to win. That's my take.
Is she? Because here's the thing. I don't know anymore. Because this is how ass backwards the booking has been. I mentioned earlier about Roman going up against Charlotte at Mania, even though everybody wanted Roman versus Becky. Lita all of a sudden has a bone to pick with Becky Lynch. Meanwhile, Wenz, if you remember correctly, who was Lita kind of verbally sparring with leading up to the Rumble? Charlotte Flair.
Remember?
Charlotte Flair.
It Flair? Okay.
So in reality, it should be Ronda and Becky at Mania, and it should be Charlotte versus Lita at WrestleMania. If someone in that creative team had a brain, which clearly they don't, somebody would have thought, hey, why are we switching this for reasons that make no sense? All of a sudden, the only storyline thing that makes sense is the fact that Becky met Lita when she was a kid and got an autograph. They're toying with that to try and tell a story. But in reality, nobody wants to see Lita versus Becky Lynch. We wanted Lita versus Charlotte, so Lita could shut her up once and for all, because apparently nobody else on the roster can. So it would have made more logical sense. So I want to believe Becky's going to retain, but I'm confused, so confused with where they're going. I don't know for sure. So are you going with Becky?
I want to hear yours first. Go ahead.
Because if you're going to go with Becky, I'm going to roll the dice and go with Lita just to make this fun, because I don't know anymore. Nothing makes sense in this company anymore. Nothing makes sense. So I'm gonna regret this. I choose Lita to win.
You really are. Becky Lynch is winning this match.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. What's said is said. SmackDown's Tag Team Championship, the Usos versus the Viking Raiders. Can we just back it up about 2 years? Can they just change their name back to the Vikings or the Raiders or
the War
whatever?
Raiders.
It's just unnecessary appeasement. Anyway.
Yeah. Apparently people are triggered by the word war or something. It's like,
according to their market research.
Yeah, even though they're called War Machine before they came into WWE. That's why they changed to the War Raiders so they can keep the machine if they ever go back to the Indies. But so they changed the War Raiders, but then everybody was like, war makes people think about war and violence and all that. So they went with Viking. Oh yeah, because Vikings have a better reputation. Forgot. Yes. Yeah, I don't want people that fight. I don't want people that will fight to defend things. I want a group of people that pillages and plunders. Yeah, let's go with that.
Whatever, they playing it down. I think that in this match, I'd be foolish to bet against the Usos. So I'm gonna go with the Usos.
Me too. I ain't about to make that mistake.
You have before. Not again, right?
Not again. Nope.
This next one, it's just gonna be another slaughterhouse rules here. Falls count anywhere match. Madcap Moss. He's on the up and up under Baron Corbin's leadership, of course. But he's taking on Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's winning this match, bitch.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Enough said about that. Now, this next one is going to be pretty interesting, I think. And I hope it ends in a particular fashion. But I want your insight and prediction. Ronda Rousey and Naomi taking on Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville.
Wow. First of all, again, I'm surprised. I didn't expect this many women's matches on Saudi Arabia card. So I'm shocked that got added to the mix. This match is going to go one of two ways. Either Ronda Rousey is going to make Sonya Deville tap, or Charlotte Flair is going to make Naomi tap. And because Ronda's back and she needs to look good going into Mania again, I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey and Naomi, but Ronda's going to get her hands on Sonya. Charlotte's going to avoid her at all costs. That way, she made Sonya tap out, but she didn't make Charlotte tap out, and Charlotte can use that to continue to build this bullshit story to go to Mania.
So here is what I want to happen, but I fear you're right. I want to see Ronda Rousey make Charlotte Flair tap out. Or even more insane, how would it be to have Charlotte Flair make Ronda Rousey tap out?
If you do that, you kill the main event, right? I mean, to me, it's already dead, but this would make it more dead. You tap out Ronda, there's no reason for them to fight. You kill your WrestleMania match right there. That's a bad idea. Bad idea. You can't have them tap each other out, because you got to keep it, because that's the whole goal of going to Mania is they haven't tapped each other out. They haven't pinned each other, but now they're in a match. They have no choice. If she makes her tap out, now if Charlotte pins Ronda, that might get them to Mania. It might. But if Charlotte taps her out, it's dead. You've killed the main event right there. It's done. It's dead. Stick a fork in it. You might as well shut it off and go to bed early at Mania. You can't have that happen.
All right, fair enough. So who did you pick to win this match?
Charlotte and Naomi, and Charlotte taps out Sonya.
It's Rousey and Naomi.
Sorry. Yeah, Rousey's going to make, that's what I meant to say. Rousey's going to make Sonya tap out, and that's going to end the match. That way, Ronda looks good. Sonya eats the loss, but Charlotte still looks good in defeat because she didn't get pinned and she didn't tap out. So that means Ronda's got to still chase her to Mania in order to break her arm.
I think I'm going to go in a slightly different direction. So I think our predictions should be based on how the outcome happened. So I think Naomi is going to pin Sonya Deville or make her
okay.
tap.
So you want to see? So we're both picking the same person, but you want to add this little thing
Yeah,
to
it's
see
like
if
a,
it
it's like a
works.
prop. It's like a sub bet, like a prop bet.
Okay, since we did 2 people for the Rumble, I'll allow this. I'll allow this.
How gracious of you.
Yes, I'll allow it.
Well, speaking of allowances here, I think we should allow for one more match prediction. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do
Speed
it.
round. In 60 seconds, Booch. Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. Who's winning this match?
People are going to be shocked what I'm about to say right now. I think The Miz is going to win. And the reason I say that is because I think something's going to happen where Dominic's going to try to help Rey. And he's going to accidentally cost him the match. There's going to be friction between them. I think Dominic's going to go heel. Because you notice Miz brought up something interesting on Raw. He said, "Aren't you Eddie's son?" So I'm thinking Dominic's going to go heel and change his last name to Guerrero. And I've been predicting that since he debuted. And I think now they're going to pull the trigger.
Wow.
And we're going to get Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Guerrero, WrestleMania 38.
That's the most brilliant writing that will never come to fruition.
All right. Yeah, I'm going with The Miz.
I can't believe you're going with The Miz. I'm so shocked right now.
I know.
It's making me second guess my prediction. All right, get back to square one. Don't get in your feelings, Joey. Don't get in your feelings. I am gonna go with The Miz also.
All right.
He's due for a win.
Yeah.
And Booch, we will never, ever leave the male soap opera moment without a couple key things. One of which is, have a nice day.
The other is bang, bang.